It's First Aid with Kelly Kinkaid on Sway in the Morning.
Citizens, so you guys know the deal. Every single Thursday, we got you. We deliver you First Aid of Kelly Kinkaid, which basically puts the spotlight on personal development, on upgrading our mental health, on making sure that everything is working smoothly when it comes to our physical health.
Correct.
And today we have a very, very special showcasing of First Aid with Kelly Kinkaid because we have someone who I love. However, since this is your first time meeting, Kelly, I want you to do the honors.
Today we have author, and I love that you wrote Well-Being Innovator.
Yes.
She has a new book called Being is the New Doing. We have Mrs. Radiah Rhodes with us today. And, you know, I was talking about the top of the month. We always need that boost to get us going through the month, you know, and I love with the title of your book, Being is the New Doing, a divine guide to owning your energy, time and peace of mind. And, you know, good morning, Radiah, once again.
Morning.
I love this book. You know, it just came out in February, and I think of everyone always needs inspiration. You know, when I look at inspiration, it's to influence, move, or guide by divine or supernatural. And my first question is, there's so many books out here that's by major authors, and we have you. And what made you, like, what inspired you and motivated you to write this book today?
Yeah, I had something to say. And I have a company, Evoke Life by Design, and we work with people to really transform any area of their life. And it's a different concept, and a lot of the concepts that are out here, spiritual concepts, are really abstract. And my partners and I saw them as very tangible and very real. We come from an engineering background, and so we felt like, you know, we're speaking, but I don't know that people are really getting how tangible this is. And if we were willing to hear it, that we could really make a difference with a lot of people. So I had something to say. I wanted people to really get some insight into a different way to look at these spiritual laws and concepts that are out here.
Now, Radiah, with the title, Being is the New Doing, especially in New York City, which is like the hustler's playground, a lot of people just glorify busyness. You know what I mean? Especially you see celebrities tweet about it all the time. And if you don't have a lot on your plate, then it feels like the only alternative is you don't eat at all. And there's no middle ground. But what do you truly mean by being is the new doing? Because some people could just look like this is a bullshit way for you to rationalize being lazy.
Exactly. No. So being, even when we see people who are busy, and a lot of celebrities and people who are successful actually are being. It looks like they're doing a whole lot, but they're being their authentic self. And so they're really in the flow of a lot of things aiding them to get done what they actually do. So there are some of us who are out here doing a whole lot, not knowing who we are, and that's the busyness, and that's very different. There are people, you see Diddy is always active, but he's himself. So he's just showing up. So it looks like a lot to us, but he just has to show up and be who he is.
So it's really alignment being the new hustle.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at you, Tracy.
Yes.
You know, I love, you have different quotes from Audre Lorde, Wayne Dyer, but I love yours because you go, you don't get what you want. You don't even get what you believe. You create what you embody.
Yeah.
And how did that come about? Did you have an experience to realize that?
It's about ownership. You know, I think sometimes even when we think about believing something, it's in our heads, it's in our minds. And a lot of us are believing a whole lot and still not creating it. So there was something for me in taking that additional leap from belief to actually owning and embodying that which you say you want in your world or in your life. So that's where it came from.
Who are you? Because everyone always, that's a question that some people associated with titles. I'm a mother,
right.
I'm a friend, I'm a sister. I know in your book you have, who are you? And what's your story that like moved you, that your story is going to touch someone?
Yeah, so I'm like anyone, you know, like you said, all these roles, right? A corporate professional, a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter. And I was doing a whole lot, and I just got tired and exhausted. I had a lot of changes occur in a short period of time. In 2 years, my life completely shifted, and I was miserable. And where I came from, you know, I thought if I got a good job, if I got married, if I had a family, all these things that I never had, then those issues would be solved. The poverty, the scarcity, the instability. And when I got all those things and I was still feeling very unstable, uncertain, and miserable, I just kind of hit a low, and my father asked me, "Who are you?" And I didn't have an answer. I had never thought about it before. I knew what I wanted. I knew why I wanted it, but I didn't know who I was. And he just said, go away. He wouldn't give me any kind of clues as to how to answer the question even. So I just went, I typed, I read, I prayed, I meditated. And what came to me was, I'm life-changing love, which sounds real abstract, but it was something that I knew in my soul when all the other things that are real tangible, I really didn't know. So for me, it was realizing that I was limitless. And in the words that came to me around my limitlessness was life-changing love.
Here for it.
Wow.
That definitely here for it. And you know what,
Thank
citizens? I'm going to keep it 101 with you. Here's a fun fact is I actually was given the beautiful opportunity of editing this book with Radiah. So that's why it's so true to who I am, and that's why I can co-sign it. That's why I brought it to Kelly, and that's why I'm so grateful to be able to share it with everyone right now. Now, a key part that I want to talk about when we come back, Radiah, is the intention scale that we have here in this book, and basically have you break it down, and Kelly can ask some questions on that as well and see how it can be applied to our citizens' lives. So citizens, again, we have Radiah Rhodes with us here for First Date with Kelly Kinkaid. Call up if you feel confused about life. We'll bring you some clarity. 888-742-3345. It's Shade 45. Citizens, First Date with Kelly Kinkaid live here on Sway in the Morning, and we have a beautiful special guest who wrote Being is the New Doing. Miss Radiah Rhodes is here with Kelly and I, Tracy. So what do we break down a bit of what we've been talking about, Kels?
Well, we're talking about the first important thing is, who are you? You know, really, a lot of people are searching through life, trying to figure it out. You know, I always look at college students. What we think we want to do at one age, it changes and it shifts. And, you know, we're talking about your book. A lot of people, there's a lot of inspirational books, personal development books. And I love your mission because we're common as far as we're special, but we're common in we have something that may connect with someone. And I think that it was important to have you here because your book is a divine guide to owning your energy, time, and peace of mind. And I love, you know, when I started reading the book, you have a chapter and we talk about the be, do, have. And I've read the book, The Conversations with God with Neil Donald Walsh. And we talk about that. What I would love to know your interpretation of be, do, have.
Yeah, sure. So most of us, and I say this in the book, you know, we live, have, do, be, where we think of what we want to have, and then we start doing a whole lot to get it because we think it's going to have us to become someone.
True.
And that is really flipped, right? In terms of how this works. And that goes back to the creating what you embody. You know, your life is an exact match for who you are, no matter what you're doing. So in that sense, it's really about being who it is you really want to be, who you feel you are, who you know yourself to be, walking in truth with that, and then doing things that occur to you in alignment, like Tracy said, and then watch what you create. You'll have exactly what's a match for that.
So you know what? Let's get an idea of who George from LA is. What exactly is his being about? George, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, George.
Good morning.
Say hi to
Good
Radiah.
morning.
Good morning, Radiah. How we doing? You guys doing all right out there?
Doing great.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, here in Los Angeles, 60, 70-degree weather, you know.
Yeah, just throw it in our faces
I know,
as we
rub it
freeze
in.
here in New
Rub
York.
it in.
George, what's going on in your world, bro?
You know what? Right now, just trying to figure out, at work where I'm at, I got my position. I like where I work at, right? I like my, you know, where movement is. But I'm currently in the interim supervisor role, right? Now, interim means short time, and then you're either going to move up or you're going to stay where you're at, wherever they make a move, right? I've been in my interim role for about a year and a half. I've never heard of an interim role being this long. Now, I'm trying to figure out, look, by this point, I'm not trying to go back to where I was. Either I move up or I'm going to move out. But I keep bringing it to senior management. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I want to make a move. Here's what I've done. Here's the work I've done. But they're like, oh, it's the budget. It's the budget. It's the budget. Right? So at this point, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, like, do I stay and gamble and see what happens, or do I just, you know, make a move from there? And this is a big deal for me because this is going to decide where my next move, because I recently got married a year ago, so at this point, I'm trying to make a move and saying, okay, well, you know, I'm going to buy a house next, I'm going to have kids next.
Right.
So this decision right now is it's kind of like, what if I make a move? I feel like I'm starting over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So his ground pretty much feels shaky, right, George?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah. So,
okay, Radiah, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I can hear, first of all, I acknowledge George for not settling, right? You hear that he still has movement in what he's wanting to accomplish. And so I would say it sounds like he's in kind of a striving level of intention. He continues to take some action. So what's really necessary is to get very clear about what is his purpose, what are his goals, and what does he want to focus on, so that it can become clear what kind of action to take. If he wants to move into the next level out of this interim position, but that's not available, then he's got to seek, right? Raise that level of intention to seek some additional options, open up what other options are there that meet his goals. So if he's clear about those goals, he'll see that there are a lot of options that can open up for that.
How does someone, how are you able to do that? Because even listening to him, I would assume there's a lot of anxiety. He has a wife, so it's a family, and you're trying to figure this out. So what do you suggest? Is it going to get a piece of paper and writing it down, or a chalkboard? Like, what would you suggest to George to kind of find out what his end goal is?
It's different for everybody. It could be writing it down. It could be connecting with somebody that you feel. I mean, he just called in. That was an action to take to have himself be heard. But it could just be sitting and really getting clear, like, man, what do you want and why do you want that? Right? Who are you? He talked about the roles he serves. It sounds like he wants to protect and provide for his family. Right? So if that's his goal, then seeking different options to do that, or additional options to do that, and seeing that this doesn't have to necessarily be in this one place. The answer is not in just one place.
Good luck, George, on your decision.
George, I hope that helps. And also speak to your boss to see, since you're more permalance now than just being an interim player, see if your contract can reflect that. So at least you have like a full 2 years there, and then you can begin planning instead of just like being a leaf in the wind. We appreciate you. Jasmine from Ohio, how are you, Jazz?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm fabulous. How are you ladies?
We're
Good morning.
well.
Love to hear you guys.
We're so happy to have you, Jazz. Say hi to Radiah and share with us what's going on with you right now.
Good morning, Radiah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I called last week. I got in. It's my second time. But
okay, hit that streak.
Right. I called in on behalf of my mother. I kind of rushed it. God laid it on my heart to call in and just kind of speak on behalf of the colon cancer segment. Thank you for, announcing that. But, I just left hot yoga this morning. I heard you fabulous ladies talking, and my, gift, I believe, is, just to be the agent of change in my family, just kind of, being that one to lead the way as far as health and wealth, and just thinking things through, like Heather spoke on earlier, just kind of opening up your palette and being open to new things, and just kind of discovering new areas in your body, in your life, and love.
Beautiful. So
awesome.
You got it together,
clean.
Jazz. You just coming over here to show that we all in the same tribe.
Yeah.
Yes. I thank you guys. You guys are phenomenal, and thank you. I'm definitely going to get the book. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I want to encourage everyone to pick up this book. It's available on all platforms. Being is the New Doing, a divine guide to owning your energy, time, and peace of mind. And Radiah, we were talking about the intention scale. You've brought us a lovely package. What is that as far as checking your intentions and your scale?
Yeah, so we look at intention as, so most people talk about it as an objective, right? Like, I didn't intend for that to happen. And we kind of flip that to say, you actually did. You were just unaware of a big part of your intention. So your intention is not just a thought that you put out there. It actually is the sum total of who you are and how you show up. It's the whole energy. It's what you believe. It's the emotions behind it. It's all of that. So to make that real, we wanted to create this scale for people to really see where they are on the intention scale. That way, it makes what's invisible very visible, right? And you know it. When you talk to somebody, there's a certain energy that comes in with them. They might be saying one thing, but you feel everything else that's coming with
the
it.
Vibes.
The whole thing is their intention, not just the thought of what they're trying to have happen at the end result.
Right. And the lowest on the scale, just to give you a little spoonful, citizens, is suffering. And then the highest is my favorite word, which is sovereignty, which just lifts my chin higher when I mention it. So that's what we have to strive for. And you can get all the details on the other, legs on this ladder of intention when you pick up this new book. Being is the New Doing. Radiah, you already know.
Yes.
I could just pour compliments on you like forever,
And I could send them right back to you.
I appreciate
So much
you.
love. Thank you.
And Kelly, of course,
Yes.
we love you as well.
Thank you so much. And before you leave, Radiah, I would like to talk to, for Terrell from South Carolina and Edward from Missouri and anyone that's listening right now that maybe didn't have enough strength to call in. What are some words for them to pick up this book? Or if they don't even, they're trying to get some motivation, they're stuck.
Yeah.
What would you speak to them about?
So I would say most of what you read really will speak to tools that you can use and things that will inspire you. What I love about how this book is written, how I wrote it, is it really speaks to your personal circumstances. It doesn't step over that everybody has a particular reality that they live. That's important to you being able to move from it, move out of it. So I would really encourage folks to get the book because it's going to take you through a process that really acknowledges, like Tracy said, if you're suffering, it's not going to step over that and try to tell you to just be happy or just do this thing. It's really going to address and engage you where you are and then help you to take some steps to lift yourself up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope this touched someone. Pick up the book once again. And I just thank you for every week being able to share different people, so people like you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And how can people follow you on social?
Yeah, so at Evoke Life, EVOKLIFE on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and at Radiah Rhodes as well. Thank you so much.
Citizens, please reach out to her directly.
Absolutely.
Talk to her, and you
Send
all
us
can
a
reach.
DM. We'll answer them.
Okay, and then you all can reach me, Kelly Kinkaid, KELLY KINKAID.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
And once again, a pleasure, Radiah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.